Good afternoon. Welcome to Webcast channel. Here is the news at noon. My name is Christy Doy. First, the highlights. Election shouldn't be do or die affair. Khan tells politicians. Banks begin dispersing redesigned naira notes. Limited supply recorded. Senate panel agrees Lorenta Onoche. Orders for NDDC appointment. While we are in debt, presidential air fleet. Now the news in full. The Christian Association of Nigeria (CAN) in the 19 northern states and the Federal Capital Territory (FCT) says presidential candidates should not see the 2023 general election as a do or die affair. Yakubu Pam, chairman of the association in the northern states, said this on Thursday at a 3-day special prayer summit in Kaduna. Pam said Nigerians want presidential candidates to say how they intend to address the economic and security challenges, not to hear them all insults at each other. He advised politicians to strive towards addressing the issues of the economy, propose solutions, and shun character assassination of opponents, noting also that power comes from God and what will be. No man runs faster than his shadow. Religious leaders should be able to speak truth to power no matter the circumstances we find ourselves, because for everyone we mislead, we must answer for it someday, he said. Pam noted that our people look up to us for leadership, especially at this time of our democratic experience. We must not fail them. We must provide the needed leadership and direction for them so that this house must not fall. Speaking further, he said the interest of the northern Christians as far as the 2023 general elections is concerned is nothing but to promote the unity of the North and in particular and Nigeria as a whole. He called on governments at all levels to be proactive in addressing challenges that might arise before, during, and after the elections. It is equally the responsibility of the government to ensure a level playing ground for all the candidates of all the political parties and voters, so that at the end of the day, we will have credible elections that will be accepted by Nigerians, he added. In line with the directive of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Deposit Money Banks (DMB) began dispensing the redesigned naira notes to customers across the country on Thursday, December 15, 2022. The new naira notes were dispensed over the counter alongside the old ones in most commercial banks. On December 8, Godwin Emefiele, CBN governor, said banks had received the new notes, assuring Nigerians that it will go round. But monitoring the exercise, it was observed that some commercial banks had limited supply of the new notes after visiting some financial institutions in Lagos and Ilorin. A cashier at a branch of the Guarantee Trust Bank said the redesigned denomination will not be available for dispensing tomorrow due to the low supply. Another member of staff of the United Bank of Nigeria said only 2,000 naira of the new notes were allowed to be dispensed, stressing on the limited supply constraints. Hopefully, by the end of the month, it should be better circulated, the cashier said. On October 26, Emefiele had announced the plan to redesign the biggest denomination of the country's currency to control money supply and aid security agencies in tackling illicit financial flows. The governor said the new notes 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes will be effective from mid-December 2022. Advising customers to deposit their old notes before January 31, 2023, when they will become a legal tender. The redesigned currency notes were thereafter unveiled by the President Muhammadu Buhari last month and acts that stirred numerous reactions, mostly unsavory. Meanwhile, the CBN has directed deposit money banks and other financial institutions to ensure that over-the-counter cash withdrawals by individuals and corporate entities per week do not exceed 100,000 and 500,000 naira respectively. The Apex Bank said the withdrawal limit policy will take effect nationwide from January 9, 2023. The Senate Committee on Niger Delta Affairs screened Loretta Onoche and 40 other nominees for their appointment as chair and members of the board of the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC). Ms. Onochie, currently a special assistant to the president on new media, appeared before the panel on Thursday for the screening process. She and the other nominees were appointed by President Muhammadu Buhari on 23rd November 2022. She was emerged in a controversial appointment to the electoral umpire INEC in 2020 when she was named a national commissioner to represent Delta State. The appointment generated public outcry from individuals, civic groups, and opposition parties who wrote petitions, staged protests, and called on the Senate to reject Ms. Onoche's appointment. Many also described the appointment as unconstitutional, majorly because she is partisan and has openly campaigned for the ruling All Progressive Party Congress (APC). She was, however, rejected by the Senate in July, and the basis for her rejection was not just her partisanship. The Senate said that her appointment was rejected because it breaches the federal character principle. At Thursday screening, chaired by Gombe Senator Bulus Amos, some senators wondered if Ms. Onitsha's local government was an oil-producing community. Seriake Dixon, PDP Bayelsa West, said her nomination breached the provisions of Section 12, Subsection 1 of NDDC Establishment (ETC) Act. He asked Ms. Onitsha about her local government and whether it is an oil-producing community, but he was reminded by the Senate Chief Whip Orji Kalu (APC Abia North) that a former NDDC chairman, Onyema Ugochukwu, was appointed from a community that does not produce oil in Abia State. He said, "We need to be more guided. We have appointed a chairman from our state that is not from local governments where they produce oil, and nobody can tell us to reject this one." While Ekiti Senator Opeyemi Bamidele, who supported Ms. Onitsha's appointment, said she is qualified for the position, Delta Senator James Manager said a petition was written against her nomination. He, however, assured that the committee will look at the petition written by the concerned group from the Niger Delta region. This is one nominee we rejected on the floor of the Senate. We rarely reject nominees from the president, but this was done, Mr. Manager said. Now this person is here again before the Senate. I want the public to know that this one is an isolated case. In an executive session, we will discuss it. We will look at the petitions, he added. On her part, Ms. Oneshe promised that the board will work as a team for the development of the oil-producing region. She said being an indigenous of a community that produces agricultural products, they will work on bringing food to the table of Nigerians. According to her, since the announcement of her nomination, she has received thousands of applications from young people wanting to be personal assistant because that is all they know. She said, "We are going to show them that there is more to life than being a personal assistant. We are going to show them how to be properly empowered." Meanwhile, three senators from Ondo State have rejected the nomination of Charles Ogumola, who was appointed Executive Director Projects for the board. The senators are Ajayi Burofis, Ondo North, Ayo Akinyelure, Ondo South, and Nicholas Tofo Womo, Ondo South. According to reports, the senator sought his rejection on grounds that he is not from an oil-producing community. The Presidential Air Fleet (PAF) says it is in debt to service producers. The Presidential Air Fleet says it is in debt to service providers due to low budgetary allocations to it over the years to fund its operation. The commandant of the PAF, Abubakar Abdullahi, stated this on Thursday during an oversight visit by the House of Representatives Committee on National Security and Intelligence to its base in Abuja. Abdullahi, who was represented by the Fleet Operational Officer, Ahmed Dari, said PAF has been getting budget cuts that have affected its ability to service its obligations. He stated that the fleet submitted a total budget of 18.767 billion, but only 12.55 billion was approved in the Appropriation Act, while 10.907 billion was released as of December 2021. Larry added that in 2022, the fleet proposed the sum of 19.7, but 12.47 billion was finally approved. He informed the committee that a large percentage of his cost is for the maintenance of the aircraft in the fleet. The officer explained further that debts from preceding years are usually carried over to the following year, and this has become the tradition. Permit me to also state that most of these debts are owed by service providers overseas. Considering that over 85% of the fleet expenditure is forex, the actual budget figure in dollars is further diminished. It is important, therefore, to note that the average age of the presidential air fleet aircraft is 11 years, and in aviation, maintenance increases proportionally with the age of the aircraft based on the fleet experience. The cost of maintaining each aircraft ranges between 1.5 million to 4.5 million dollars depending on the level of maintenance. Speaking on behalf of the committee, Shaban Sharada ADP Kanu, its chairman, commended the fleet for carrying out its activities effectively. There have been controversies around the presidential air fleet in the recent past. In 2015, when President Muhammadu Buhari came on board, he promised Nigerians that his administration would cut down the number of aircraft on the path inherited from former President Goodluck Jonathan. According to the government, there were 10 aircraft in the fleet. They included two each of Augusta 149, Augusta 101, and Falcon 7X, as well as one each of HS 4000, G500, G550, and 737 BBJ series. There was, however, an attempt in the past by this administration to set up the aircraft, a Falcon 7X executive jet and Noka 4000. That has been the news this afternoon. I wish you a good day.